Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me.
Good day, madam.
Are you a ventriloquist?
I think so.
Good day, sir.
Yes. There we go. How you
There's been
doing?
a couple of retakes that people haven't even seen when you were doing some really hard ones, and I couldn't even come close to mimicking.
I wasn't retaking him.
No, it wasn't retakes for that. It was some other reason. We don't do retakes, John. It's like very rare that we do a retake of an episode.
I know. We'll
What
get
you
through it.
see is what you get. Like
We'll
almost,
get-
I would say 90% of the time, we just keep it and just go.
We'll get through it, and Miranda will be like, oh. I'm like, Mir, that was good. That was good. Miranda just wants perfection for you guys. That's all she wants.
Mm-hmm.
She wants
And
perfect.
John's okay with mediocre.
There she goes.
Oh.
There she goes. The bus. We're gonna rename you the bus. And then you go forward and backwards on the bus. Okay, so today this kind of ties in with a little bit of what we were talking about with the last one, Miranda. I can't stress enough on how important it is creating your why. Just like, I mean, I've said it, we've talked about it, we've gone over it, we've like every possible scenario that you can do. It's so important to the success of the emotion of the presentation, right? And I say that all the time. It's like people buy an emotion or logic, and you either have logical buyers or you have emotional buyers. And Miranda, the emotion's like, it's 50%. So if you don't tap properly into the emotion, you're like setting yourself up to only be able to help out 50% of the families that you sit with.
Or zero.
See? She's gonna start running the bus over you guys too if you don't fix this.
I've done it. I've gotten zero. That's how I know. Like I've been horrible at this business. Every area of it I've been horrible, and then I figured it out.
That's what people don't understand. Like, I think Miranda like went 0 for like 46 or something.
I don't know. There's been I was like my first 5 or 6 weeks I didn't write an app at all. And then I wrote 28 grand my first week that I wrote more than one or anything. I wrote 28, but that unusual, right? But here's the thing. Everything from building a business to digital leads to all of it. I've always been terrible at it for a while, months. And then I figured it out.
And then she started listening to me.
I didn't even know you when I started. Well, I did. I wasn't like friends with you. So you had to learn from me, bro. You had to learn from me up in here when you showed up on the scene.
I'm really easy to be friends with. We don't even know that. So anywho, yeah, but so we actually have a guest on. He has been in the insurance industry, I think, longer than both of us, Mer.
Ooh.
But he ran a pretty large organization, you know, doing almost $4.5 million, $5 million a year in premium. And then some stuff happened, right? And he got sick and went through a bunch of health challenges and just kind of had to restart. And so I'm so grateful and so blessed that we kind of get to do this together, and we get to kind of, I don't know, man, just do it right. And so we have Nick Horner on with us. Nicholas, you want to say hi?
Hey, everybody. Hopefully I'm looking dashing enough next to you two.
Did you say dashing? Like,
He did.
So, what's been kind of cool, Nick, is that you're a phenomenal salesperson. And hopefully this is okay that I kind of share this, but you came to me, I think, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and you're like, look, bud, it's different, right? You're kind of doing this digital world. You were used to the knee-to-knee, face-to-face, you know, kind of side of things. And you're like, look, I got to kind of like strip down a little bit of who I am. And you've been so awesome and just open to be like, hey, teach, help me get better, because I'm missing and I shouldn't be missing, because I know I'm pretty good at this. And so we kind of stripped down your presentation, and now you're knocking it out of the park. You're doing really, really well, and it's super cool to see. I don't know, what have you sold in the last week and a half in annual premium volume? Any ideas?
I know it's over 10 grand, somewhere around there. I mean, it seems like since I made the adjustments, my average sales around $150 a month.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. So again, cool, right? And so you've been super coachable and super teachable. And oddly enough, there's this one area that I think that we could improve. And I think it'd be really cool just for everyone to kind of see, like, how do we make these improvements? How do we make some of these changes? And so I'm super grateful that you're like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, if I can help some other people through what I do, I'd be glad to do that. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. I know we just randomly texted you and said, hey, can you hop on? And you jumped on, and not really knowing what you're doing. So I'm going to tell you through your why, through your story.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is how you tell your story. And then I want to help make some modifications. And I want people to kind of hear a little bit of the difference in how you tell it. So I'm going to have you tell it to Miranda, and I'm going to take a bunch of notes as quick as I possibly can to give you some ideas and how we can kind of alter this. And Miranda's smiling. So go ahead, Mir, what do you got?
Just whenever he says the word ideas all the time now, it's ideas, idea. Do you like idea 1 or idea 2? It's just a lot. So he's consistent, everyone.
You know what?
You start doing.
Miranda, it's better to be consistently good than occasionally awesome.
I appreciate you and your consistency of ideas.
You're smart ass. All right. So we're going to fast forward through everything. You are going to get straight to your why. You're going to start it off with, let me tell you why I'm in this business, tell your story, and then transition out with, so tell me, why are you looking into this type of protection? What would it mean to your family?
Yep. That sounds good. So I do have 3 different stories. Oh, my bad. You lagged there. What was that?
I said, if you can't remember the ending part of it, then go ahead. Just finish however you finish, and don't worry.
Got you. All right. So we already got done with all the health questions, everything like that. So Miranda, I appreciate you being vulnerable with me there and sharing everything that you did with me so far. I'd like to, have a moment with you so you have an idea of who you're going to be doing business with and why I actually do what I do and the importance of it. So Miranda, I want you to kind of know a little bit here about me. So back before I started in the insurance industry, I was a United States Marine. I used to kick in doors for the Marine Corps in Iraq, in a foreign country, at a very young age. And I got out of the Marine Corps, fell in hard times. I was living out of my car, and I was like, I need to find a way to just make some money. And I didn't really care. I just wanted to make some money. That was it. And so when I got started in the insurance industry, it was all about making money. I didn't really care about the impact I was making. I didn't really understand the power and the importance of what I was doing. I just was paying attention to a paycheck. So I never, approached my friends. I never approached my family. And then that one day came that completely took me by storm and knocked me, quite frankly, right on my butt. And that was when my best friend in the entire world died. And I've talked to him kind of in the past, but I never really pushed him because I didn't realize how important insurance was. And he died abruptly. He got into a massive accident with his fiance in the car. He died instantly. And I'll tell you, like, that killed. But what killed even more is his fiance was in a coma for 2 months. And with that, her kids were being taken care of by grandma and grandpa. And after she got out of a coma, because Joey didn't have any insurance, so nothing went to her or the family. She didn't have any insurance where she could have used while she was in a coma. She could have used the living benefits that were part of it. And after she got out of a coma, she lost everything. She lost her house. She lost her car. Next thing you know, she's trying to figure out what the heck life means for her. She's now living in a wheelchair. She can't work again. She can't, life is no more normal for her. Like, that's her new normal, lost everything. And if I just took my time and realized how important insurance is for people, I could have help them completely avoid the biggest catastrophe that could have ever happened to them by just simply caring a little bit more and pushing my friend into getting something that I knew that was right for him. So with that being said, Miranda, with how important this is to you, what is the reason why we're here today? Why'd you fill it out?
Okay.
And that's one of the 3 stories I use. Just depends
Sure.
on.
Murray and I talk about that, right? 3 stories. Have one for younger, one for middle age, which Miranda calls me middle age, and then one for senior citizens.
Damn, that means she's calling me middle-aged.
I know.
I think we all are middle aged now.
Jeez.
I do think
I'm not
that.
middle-aged.
Thanks for the reminder.
Okay. So
We're at the turn.
all right.
Right.
So Miranda, just tell me, like how did that make you feel? What was going on in your brain as he was kind of telling the story?
Yeah, no, I could I could see how that really made an impact on you to care about people, and how that girl is like everything that she had to go through perhaps would be a lot easier. One thing, and John, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, is the introduction to it when he said he didn't care about insurance at the start. That kind of stuck with me the whole time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd recommend taking that out, but that was just something that I was like, I don't know if we want to take that out or what you're gonna recommend.
That's the first thing I wrote down. Yeah.
And I know why you're saying it, Nick. I'd rather them not know that you felt that way.
Yeah, I could probably put something in there like I didn't realize the value of insurance.
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
was just I'm like, this dude doesn't, like I just couldn't let that go once you said it. I was like, so that was all.
Yeah, I'll probably switch that to like the value. I didn't realize how important it was until it hit me and something happened.
Yeah, and I would do that at the end instead of opening with that, because people always remember the first thing and the last thing that you say, right? And they kind of the details in the middle, depending on how good they are.
Yeah.
But John's the master of the why, so I'll let him
all right,
rock it out.
It's the first thing I wrote down is didn't care about insurance, ? Okay, so she already kind of covered that. And we can, of course, cover it at the end too, like how to tie it together.
Yeah.
What date did you kick indoors? Why did you go to the military? I think that's kind of important. You want them to know and understand who you are. First of all, you had it at 1 minute and 57 seconds, which I love, right? 2.5 minutes. I'm going to add about 30 seconds worth of stuff, which is perfect. So you're going to be right at that 2.5 minute mark. What date did you kick indoors? Why did you enter the military? How old were you? What was kind of going on in your life then? I got Joey out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the wife's name. I didn't get the children's name. That's so important, because as we're talking about people, do we just say they and them? Or do we use their names?
Gotcha.
And Joey's name didn't come until later.
Right. Okay.
So my best friend in the world, Joey Sniffleupagus, known him since the 4th grade, or we were in the military together, and there's a bond that's like no other, right? And so I don't need the whole backstory on how you guys met, but just tie together of how you knew Joey.
Sure.
And then you said that they fell on hard times. Because and you kind of jumped around a little bit. And so I'm going to go in the order in that I heard it. But you said that they fell on hard times. Well, what does hard times look like? Friend's name I wrote down. We eventually got Joey, but I already kind of covered that. Tell Joey earlier. Accident. Where was he going? Can we relate that to something that somebody else is doing? He was on his way to work, 6:30 in the morning, foggy, rainy.
Yeah.
Boom.
So I say accident because it was being stupid on a motorcycle. I don't know how relatable being stupid on a motorcycle is, but that's why I just say accident, because accident's a little bit more relatable than driving 80 on a motorcycle in the middle of the night while you've been drinking.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a.
you could be, again, you want to be truthful, but you could change that a bit and just say, to make a long story short, it was, middle of the night, and think, a motor vehicle, or would that be considered that, like, got out of hand, and next thing you know, boom, you don't need to say he was out drinking and hammered and
Right.
whatever else happened, but you can still paint that picture of, late at night out
On his
and,
way home from hanging out with his buddies. On his way home, hanging out with his buddies, and just in the middle of the night, right? Not in the middle of the night, but at nighttime, on his way home, and then boom, tragic accident, right? And so you're just tying it like, oh, my husband comes home, now I have to worry about that, right? Like,
Right.
Again, and how many spouses worry about their spouse out with their buddies and just get home? All I want you to do is get home safe. So you're just tying in that emotion, right?
Yeah.
And then you never talked about why his fiance was in the hospital. You talked about his accident, and then like what happened after that, and how did his fiance, and what was her name? How did she get into the hospital? Why was she in a coma? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have to be able to vividly walk this story with you.
So paint a picture on how she was launched. Obviously, she was on the back of the motorcycle in the accident, and got
Right?
you.
Okay.
She was with him. She didn't say, you have to say, you don't have to say on the motorcycle. His wife or whatever was with him in the accident. Next thing you know, boom, she's in the hospital. So you're still dancing within the lines of
so
the truth of the story.
Exactly. Again, I don't need to get into the vulgar details. That's their story. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to get very specific. It's just like you have a buddy that's dies of an OD. Like, you just say, yeah, one of my buddies passed away. He was whatever. Like, you don't share some of the gory stuff. And again, I hope this is coming across properly, because we're trying to use our story to paint a picture to get people to feel why we're there, right? And so that's why we're dancing around some of the stuff. So yeah, look, him and his wife were together on their way back from being out with their friends. Their parents were watching the kids. It was at nighttime, and as they just got struck, my Joey passed immediately. And his wife, with that terrible accident, all of a sudden, she's now in a coma, brain swelling, in the hospital for 2 months. Right? And so I didn't get all of that. Now we got it. Now it's a clearer picture.
Got you.
And then you talked about they didn't have any insurance. I like how you're kind of tying in some of the living benefits there, right? It's like, you know what? Gosh, there's so many policies that they could have had, even for whatever her name is, Gloria, right? Even for Gloria, that like while she was going through that critical illness, that could have been paying their bills. But because she was in a coma, nobody knew how to access anything. No one was paying their mortgage. No one was paying their car payments. No one was paying anything. So guess what happens? Do you think that the bank cares that she's lying in the bed? No. What do they want? They just want their money.
Right.
And that story could be tied to any age group, right? Because what I do for equity protection is, hey, imagine that they had, in the safety deposit box, like a check that said this pays the mortgage for a year or 6 months. That would have saved the you can tie that what if to any situation of the person that you are sitting in front of, because you didn't,
Yeah. And that's also how I tie in, John, we've been talking more about it later, the referrals and the ERS system is, like my friend, when she was in a coma, no one knew, but if people knew my information and knew what benefits she had, they would call me and let me know.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, boom. And then the time frame kind of losing stuff, right? What all did they lose? How backed up did she get? What did that financial situation truly look like? And then when they lost everything, where did her and the kids go? How were the children impacted? What were they pulled out of? Did they have to change schools? Did they have to, right?
Right.
And so talk on some of that, because it's not that the father was gone. It's not just that the wife is now impacted. She's got to go find a job. She's got to, first of all, fix her, right? Get right. But then she's got to go out and find a job. Now she has to support the family. And now how different does that look for them? Do you see how we're kind of painting a much vivid and kind of broad
Yep.
picture there?
Absolutely.
And then at the end is like, at the end of it is, I wish I would have cared more. I wish I would have done my best friend on the planet justice. I wish I would have pushed a little bit harder. I wish I would have just made him get a damn policy so his family didn't have to go through what they went through. I'm here today to ensure that not another family has to go through what Joey went through.
Yeah.
Or Joey's family went through. So tell me, why are you guys looking into this type of protection? What would it mean to your family? Do you see how we wrap that up so differently? You see how passionate now your story becomes, how much more meaningful it is?
Yeah. That's going to be applied immediately.
Awesome. Mer, anything that you'd kind of add? I know we're already at 20 minutes.
No, yeah, no, that's awesome, and thank you for coming on and being vulnerable. And dude, I think that now the trick is getting it in like 2.5 minutes. The stuff that John just added, because you don't want to be talking too long, right? But I think, putting pen to paper, right, and getting it scripted out so that that's my big thing, is like having it written out. Because on days we feel good, it's like we can do good. But what about the days you don't feel great? You got a cold, you didn't sleep well the night before, you kids, whatever. Like, now we can still be consistent. So that would be the homework for everyone listening, is put it on paper, right? And let's master it. And then we do the same thing to all three age groups that we talked about: young, middle age, and seniors. So
yeah. Awesome. So yeah, buddy, write it out, practice it, make sure that you're within that kind of 2.5 minute mark, end it with the way that we talked about, really exploit some of this stuff. And man, I'm telling you, it'll drastically help you. You'll go from helping out 6, 7 out of 10 to now 8, 9 out of 10 guaranteed. So if you guys don't want to suck at sale, write out your why, y'all. Miranda, if they don't want to suck at sale, what should they
like, subscribe? Hell yeah, let's go.
Thanks, Nick.
All
Bye,
right.
y'all.
Thank you.